Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brandon, your trusted realtor, and I'm coming to you with another great episode. Today, I want to spend some time talking to you a little bit about responsibility, but also about a much larger topic, which is bankruptcy. So a lot of individuals will accrue debt in their life. And quite frankly, this should be a precursor. There should be a precursor video to this aimed at younger individuals about the decisions you make. You cannot run from the financial decisions you make early on in life. And if you're a young person and you're seeing this now, then getting that credit card, getting that account at those discount stores, well, not discount stores, but what are those places that people like an express credit card or one of those types of things? While it may be nice and you may qualify for it, it's important to understand the power of credit and the impact it will have and can have long term. So it's important to enjoy your life and be in the moment, but it's also important to begin to prepare because there are many, many days, hopefully, ahead for each and every one of you. And sometimes individuals find themselves in a place where they have accrued so much debt and they are just expending. They're spending all of their monthly income on this debt, and they go to the resolution of filing bankruptcy. So let's kind of set the environment here. There's two primary types of bankruptcy that an individual can file. They can file a Chapter 7 and they can file a Chapter 11. Chapter 7 is where they completely waive your debt and they get rid of all that debt completely, and they say, all right, you got a clean slate and you start over. The second is Chapter 11, where it's a repayment plan. It's essentially, they say, well, these are your creditors, and because, of this situation and that situation, here's the agreement. This is how much you pay every month to an individual who disperses these payments to these people that you owe. So a lot of individuals talk to what I like to call street attorneys, and these street attorneys will be anyone from real estate agents to street attorney bankruptcy person. This is someone who always has an opinion about, oh, I know someone, or I did this, and this is how it works for me. And you listen to that person because they may have the gift for gab, but then that person doesn't know anything from a hill of beans, and what they don't know, they're just filling in with other pieces of stories or lies. Those are the street attorneys, right? They don't have the full truth. They just make it sound wide. They make it sound good and make it sound convincing. And so you'll listen to a street attorney and they say, oh, well, Jim over here got a bankruptcy, and that, filed Chapter 7, and that wiped out all his debt, and he was able to go back and buy a boat and a house. But Jim's not telling you, he's giving you the Instagram version. He's not telling you all the stuff and all the years that he had to wait and the things he had to go through in order to make that work. Or he's not telling you that he had an uncle who died, and that uncle left him X amount of money, so he was able to clean things up a whole lot faster or cleaner. There's bits and pieces of the story that's always going to be left out with a street attorney. I 100% guarantee it. So in this case, you file bankruptcy, you think, oh, they're going to wipe out everything, where in fact they don't wipe out everything. You don't qualify for a Chapter 7 because they say, hey, you have earned income. There's not a justifiable reason for you filing this bankruptcy or not paying your debtors, and your debtors will come and they will come to court and they will make rhyme or reason. They'll look at your credit report and your other historical practices and say, this person has had the ability to pay. And a judge, and they have moved away historically in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, they've moved away from allowing individuals to just file a Chapter 7, and probably earlier than that, late 1990s, from filing just a Chapter 7 and waiving their debt because so many people were doing it. Now it is a repayment plan. So not only do you have a blemish on your record, but you're paying the debt back anyways. Goes back to point number 1 I made at the beginning of this, which is about responsibility, making those payments, because all debt is good debt, but not all debt is good debt, right? That is so important to know and to understand and build that foundation. So you file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, but you realize that you want to buy a house. What does that look like for you, right? We're not going to spend this whole time talking about, the story of bankruptcy, but rather, what do you do? What are requirements? And here's what you need to know. When you file bankruptcy of any type, and that is on your record, that bankruptcy from a FHA standpoint is going to sit on your record for 2 years. That means that there's a 2-year cooling off period where you, after that bankruptcy, after you've been discharged from that bankruptcy, that you will be able to purchase a home. Now, it is important to understand, and then for a conventional loan, before I make that caveat, for the conventional loan, it is going to be 3 years from the time of the discharge before you can purchase a loan or potentially qualify for a loan. So depending on the situation you find yourself in, That's the time frame that it is going to take. Now, for an FHA loan, those time frames are going to be different. You have to ask yourself, when does it begin and when does it end? Or when it begins for an FHA loan, it's the time that the bank takes possession of a property. Now, the process for a foreclosure can take as long, depending on if you're in a judicial or a non-judicial state. Just kind of depends, right? And this video is not the conversation for talking about judicial and non-judicial states, because we want to kind of keep the information concise. But once the bank takes ownership of the property, then that starts the clock for an FHA timeframe. So if the bank is tied up in court proceedings or probate, or there's some other reason, cloud on the title, and it keeps the bank from taking possession of that property for 18 months or 2 years or even 36 months, and the bank doesn't go on title, but you still have that foreclosure on your record, that 3-year period is just a period of time you have to wait. You still have to wait that additional 2 years in order to qualify for an FHA loan. Now, all of this means is you could have taken your collective debt and began to exercise and put together a plan in that 5-year period that now you're sitting out to get a basic FHA loan, when you could have put some things together, gotten the chutzpah that you needed, and made the appropriate payments and communications. With a conventional loan, it's slightly different. They can use the date of the foreclosure date and order to qualify, but it's still a 3-year time period and waiting period. You also have to take into consideration that it also is a blemish on your record, and so there's a potential from a risk evaluation standpoint. Each lender is different, and they evaluate things differently, and they have a little black box that they use, that they keep this algorithm in of things. Maybe they have something in that little black box of their algorithm that says, if this person ever filed bankruptcy before, then apply this extra percent to the interest rate. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Would you take the risk? Wouldn't you take the risk? Ask yourself. Would you cross Benning Road in the crosswalk, or would you cross 495 knowing that there's not a crosswalk and it's an interstate? Which one would you do? So hopefully this information has been helpful to you and to someone that you know out there. The process of owning a home is truly about creating a plan for yourself, sustainability, and success. I am looking forward, and I hope to be your trusted resource for all of your real estate needs. I look forward to being that resource. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you can stay tuned in and in tune to the latest and greatest real tea here in the DMV and everywhere else. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.